All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna check out its local search and social and city search here, both combined. See if they got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that. Pinned video, homepage, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So it's our full intent ladder. High intent over on the left, low intent over on the right. So for Ryzen, we're probably bringing in peeps from this entire intent ladder, high to low intent, making them aware of us, bringing them into us. And if we're falling, then we're missing some chunks of people somewhere. So again, F6 explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. That's why it's our North Star. So here we talk about BSS, boudoir search sameness. Well, we'll get into that. That's all about over on the left side, the highest intent peeps, people searching for boudoir photo shoots in our city right now across social search on social media, and on Google. Then over on the right, the lowest intent peeps, that's where we deal with our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, our other profiles. We talk about BLCS, and right now we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. And Facebook ads, I was going to the lowest intent people, which is actually the highest volume of people in that ever exist in one time in a city. All right, so BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots, I mean, dude, we're dead because we already know approximately 80% of all Google searches only stay on page 1. They don't even make it to page 2. So this is the bulk of the market, approximately 80%. And we actually, this is the cohort we care about. The other 20%, I mean, they're clicking off to page 10, pages 1 through 10, so we don't care about them. We care about being visible, most visible to the 80% that never leave page 1. So 0 slot, if we're on page 2, basically dead, 80% won't even find us. For our 1 slot, we're essentially dead as well, because we look the same as every other boudoir photographer who also has 1 slot on page 1, and there's going to be 9 others, or at least there's 10 organic slots. So, and any buyer goes to page 1, Google's literally just going to click open everyone's, contact everyone, and basically they ain't even going to hit page 2. So we're really being compared against everyone on page 1 of Google search. And we also know that 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common. Everyone accepts it as normal, but it's not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are one everyone knows about, which is market saturation, and 2, one basically nobody knows about, which is the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, peeps know that. It's when someone gets a new iPhone, and we see them throw up basically throw up a Google My Business profile, a website saying they now shoot boudoir, or they get a new camera, they post in the mom group saying they now do boudoir. And so that's market saturation. Also, a big tsunami of this came when COVID hit. People lost their jobs. People still needed to earn money. A ton of boudoir photographers entered the marketplace, made it way more competitive. Page 1 on Google to get clients, market saturation, force people out. That normally happens after people get relegated to page 2 or deeper. But the most important thing here is the false belief of page 1 equality. This is the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, is believing that everyone's, every boudoir photographer gets, like 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. And, if my website was there, I was on page 1, but then market saturation happened, it pushed me to page 2. Well, that's simply how it works. All right, I'm at 0 slots on page 1 now, and I'm at 1 slot on page 2. That's simply how it is. Hopefully, the new people delete their website, so maybe I can get back on page 1. Because right now I'm invisible. Only 20% of people are even coming to page 2. But no, that's totally false. It's a false belief because Google actually gives as many page 1 slots as one wants to put in the effort to acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in 10 days using this new solution we've developed. So we first got to break out of the mental trap, kind of mental cage. We need to understand that page 1 equality is a false belief. That is just, we get 0 1 slots, and that's how it is. That's how it is for every boudoir photographer. False, incorrect. And this goes for social search as well. We can take as many slots as we want, put in the effort to acquire. We also know that a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. And that's because, if we're relegated to page 2 of search on social networks or on Google, we already know approximately 80% of searchers are never seeing us, which means, we're disappearing fast. And it's kind of a canary in the coal mine. If we have BSS, we're a disappearing boudoir photographer, which means, you know, the countdown clock is on to when our boudoir photography entire business disappears as well. So we're building up our micro universe here. Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness caused by market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. But if we break through that false belief of page one equality, uh, see it for what it is, that it's false, that it's not true, it's not real, it's made up, we can actually have a chance to use our new solution because we know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka our S-cubed methodology that we invented. And again, this is what I use to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days. So this works by exactly what it says. We saturate the social search with the highest intent keywords. And this actually, as we do that more and more and more, this flows. It's kind of like all the little rivers, that flow into the Amazon. As we saturate social search more and more and more and more for the highest intent keywords, that eventually flows on down into Google or a rank in page 1, which is still where it's like 89, 90% of search happens still on Google. And that is our S-cubed methodology. Special thing about this, dude, S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen that can successfully fight against market saturation, that we can implement fast. The only other second option I've seen that we cannot implement fast is having a brand. That takes years, maybe even decades. But S-cubed methodology, we'll be seeing results way, way, way quicker than that. And it's the only thing that I've seen that can successfully fight against market saturation. Because imagine if we're in Wichita, Kansas, there's a million boudoir photographers. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's trying to rank on page 1 on Google. But if we S-cubed methodology hard enough, we saturate social search so all our competitors, let's say we take the first 300 slots in social search on all the platforms, and all our competitors are relegated to, the slot 301 or after. Same on Google, which means 10 organic slots per Google page. So that means 30 pages we tick up. Gotta go to page 31 to find our competitor. Is our business growing, treading water, or declining in a marketplace with 1 million boudoir photographers where we dominate the first 300 search results on all platforms? Obviously, ours is growing. We're the fastest growing business. Even if there's 900, there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers competing against us. So that's just if we, turbo max out S-cube methodology. And so again, it essentially kind of makes it like market saturation no longer matters because we're kicking everyone off page 1. That's the most important thing because we know approximately 80% of Google searchers never go to page 2. So we care about the bulk of the market here, which means the minimum, we got to kick as many people off page 1 as possible. Now, once we treat our BSS with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we can finally be seen on page 1, not look like everyone else. And a bonus of this is every new slot we take on page 1, we are kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. And as a result, they're on page 2. They're effectively invisible, man, because only 1 out of 5 Google searches will ever find them. I mean, they're disappearing boudoir photographer. Their boudoir photography business will disappear soon enough. So it's kind of a bonus of X cubed and S cubed. And this is the same thing on social networks as well, but kind of focusing more clearly on Google right now. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this means we don't have 0 slots on Google, page 1 Google. We don't have 1 slot on page 1 on Google. And ideally, we don't even have 2 slots on page 1 on Google. Our GBC minimum we want to hit is 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google for local search and city search. Because at 3 out of 10 slots, we've kicked off 2 out of 3 peeps from page 1 instantaneously. Also, everyone else will probably only have 1 slot. So we're 3v1 again against them. People are going to say, oh, why is Google recommending this person so much? They'll most likely be more inclined to click on us instead of any of the others. And there's a tiny minuscule chance someone else may have 2 slots, but our 3 slots will still beat them. We'll be seen as more prominent than them. So we got it. That activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got to become visible. That's the way we can guarantee we're not disappearing. So this is our micro universe here. We got disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. And we now have a solution, S cubed methodology, which we invented. We achieve page one visibility, and we become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. So it's our full micro universe. And now some results of me using um, S-cubed methodology because I invented it. So I want to rank for term BLCS Boudoir. So we go down organic. Let's go to the organic slot. So we got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10 is me. So this is what I did. I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots. Page 1 of Google in 10 days. Kicked out everyone else here. I took it over. And if someone searches my keyword BLC, BLCS Boudoir here, who are they clicking on? They probably won't even need to scroll past number 5. They're like, okay, it's all the same dude. I don't need to scroll past position 5. I'm simply gonna click on his organic search result. So this is the power of SQ's methodology for the keyword that I wanted to rank for. All right, we're at the main event here, and check out this boudoir photography business. Looks like we're going to Ottawa, Ontario, seeing if we got BSS for their city search or what. All right, so we're going to Ottawa. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Boom, we got one. Let's see. All right, so our results. So we got 1 out of 10 slots. Page 1, Google search for city. City's always harder than local search. More competitors. So yes, we do have BSS, and we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots. Page 1, Google search. So if you're a declining boudoir photographer, a DBP with boudoir search sameness, and you know that because you've gone and done the local searches, the city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your area, and you're saying you either had BSS for at least one of those searches, or you have basically you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for at least one of those searches. So you got BSS boudoir search sameness, you're disappearing boudoir photographer, and you understand that the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. So we can actually take as many, as a result, we can actually take as many page one Google links as we want. And you actually are saying, wow, SQ methodology, this is the only solution for you. You've actually been waiting for something like this to be able to, get all these extra links, page one Google search, kick out your competitors, which you actually like a lot more, make them invisible, put them slot 2 and deeper. So you like those initial benefits. You understand the market saturation, yeah, more page join because of getting new gear just over time. And also you understand that you're understanding that AI is taking more and more people's jobs right now. And then the last time this happened, COVID, people lost their job, is still to earn money. Everyone's got a super-powered smartphone with an ultra-powered camera. So a ton of boudoir photographers entered the market saturation during that time period. And you're realizing, wow, that's going to happen again more and more over time. On top of people upgrading their gear to become boudoir photographers, but AI is going to get better and better every single day, every single year. It's going to be taking more and more people's jobs every single day, every single year, forcing more people into the market to become boudoir photographers because everyone's got a super powered smartphone, with an ultra powered camera. So you're like, so now you're realizing, wait, it's not really about page one links. We actually need so many page one links that we fully book out page one. Then we got backlog of page one links that Google wants to put on page one, but can't because we already have too many links there. So then it starts filling up page 2, 3, and 4. Basically, you're realizing you got to actually fortify your page one position so that no current boudoir photographer can ever, basically ever has a chance to rank there. Also, no future boudoir photographer that comes after AI takes their job will ever have a chance to rank there. And you're seeing that, okay, again, SQ methodology is the only solution that can provide that benefit because basically because it's the only way to get that many links out in the ecosystem. goes like the future well, you want to achieve page one visibility, become a visible Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search visibility because you know you need these things on your journey to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And as a result, you know, you're liking the future benefits of SQ methodology as well, because you understand we're making these videos, ranking for these keywords. We're actually building these invisible thematic keyword columns kind of plugged into our brand, business name, social handles, your name, website name, website URL, all those things, kind of this cluster of data, plugging in these invisible thematic keyword columns, or we're ranking for these keywords. And as a result, every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, you know, grow these columns or add new columns, actually increase the probability we show up here in the AI overview. Here on Google, it's the #1 most premium placement. Right at the top, cannot pay for this through ads. And in parallel, we're actually increasing the probability that AI search apps start to recommend us as well. You know, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. These are increasing in usage every single day for search. Google standard search decreasing every single day. And last time I did AI search for boudoir photographers in a city, it recommended me 3. And I actually went to do manual, you know, Google standard search, Facebook search for boudoir photographers in that same city. And dude, there was 60. So dude, if only 3 would be recommended through ChatGPT, we gotta get one of these 3 slots by any means possible. And you're understanding, okay, future benefit SQ methodology is the only thing that is going to give it your business the best chance to achieve that and increase that probability as fast as possible. Second, well, third feature benefit, you know, growing you to become a large, well-known brand, approximately 8x faster than all these other methodologies because, or all these other standard solutions because we're doing much more volume spread across many more surfaces. So like that feature benefit. You also understand that my current plan is to only work with 1 boudoir photographer per city. So you like that. You can get all these benefits, prevent your competitors from getting them, and build up kind of like a large competitive gap between you and them. The links on page 1 for all these keywords, and you know, going and doing basically going and doing you know, building that back end AI keyword mindshare kind of momentum over time for every day that SQ methodology is correctly executed. And as a result, you decide you're going to be first mover in your city, adopt this new technology, give yourself kind of a leg up on everyone else. Because you know, the converse scenario, if one of your competing with boudoir photographers were to sign on with me first, then you would actually, well, me and your competitor would be getting all the links on page 1. You'd be booted off to page 2, 3, 4, deeper, invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. We'd be fortifying them, so you're on page 1, so your chance to have a rank on page 1 again decreases, you know, every single day. And as a result, you would then actually, well, me and your competitor would be building up this massive back-end AI keyword kind of cloud, or you know, back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum for the highest intent keywords, so they can be recommended in AI overview and AI search apps. And you know, that gap would get bigger every single day. And for you to compete, what you'd actually have to do is rederive S-cubed methodology on your own, but you would never be 100% confident you've derived it correctly. And you would also have to then execute it equivalent to us every single day. And if you were to do all that, you would actually be maintaining the gap me and your competitor had already built up ahead of you. So you'd never actually make any progress towards closing that gap. So in order to close that gap, you'd actually have to increase, you know, 2 to 3x our output. And, you know, since you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly in the first place, it's hard for you to even put in that time to 2 to 3x our output. And then you're looking like, dude, who's even got 80 hours a day to do all this stuff? So you've decided, screw all that. You decided you'd rather be the first mover in your city and not deal with missing out on this, making sure a competitor doesn't get it. And so, if that's you, shoot us a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but if you, but when we open the hospital for new patient intake, you can DM us then. Because even if you find somebody to contact us now, nope, we ain't working with you. So DM us once the hospital opens for new patient intake, and then we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.